It's the week before the big red rivalry showdown with Oklahoma, but we can't look past West Virginia. Off to a decent start are the Mountaineers on this 2016 season, year 2 in my dynasty. The Texas Longhorns, though, are number 2 in the nation, and they've got the returning number 2 finisher in the Mackey Award list as Clarington playing a big part early on in this one, hauling in the big pass down the seam, and Chris Warren making it look easy, punching it in for the touchdown, and the Longhorns are up with a 1-touchdown lead. Barely 2 minutes into the game. On the defensive side, things are not looking much better for West Virginia. This thing is shaping up to be a bit of an ugly contest as number 2 Texas is just taking it to the Mountaineers. Swoopes later on, giving it to Warren on 4th and 1. Not looking to punt. This is a team with some swagger and some confidence. Swoopes throwing it anytime. Oh, and it's just not a game without an interception from Tyrone Swoopes. He may have led this team to the national championship last year, but if you remember from season 1, he had his fair share of mistakes. But something different about this year is the experience and the skill on the defensive side. And Paul Boyette coming up, stopping the screen. The big fella, Russell Shell, going nowhere. Swoopes, however, on the offensive side, he is going places, and he's scored 6 touchdowns already this season. Look out, Heisman Trophy race. And he's making a few more calls on hot routes and audibles, and he's keying on his big tight end, Clarington. He knows his skill players, and he goes to them often. Clarington with another big reception for 14 yards. That's going to set him up for a 1st and 10, and Swoopes is going to take the read option. Makes the correct read, runs it in himself. A 14-0 lead starting off the second quarter, and Skyler Howard going down for a sack. I believe that was Boyette once again. And later on 3rd down, he's feeling the pressure. He's intimidated. Wouldn't you be also with all of those All-Americans coming at you on the blitz? And just a few plays later, Texas moving it right down the field as they always do. And Chris Warren, what a 1-2 combo. The power running game of Chris Warren combined with the legs of Tyrone Swoopes and the freshman Chris Gunn when he gets the ball. And then you've got guys like Lorenzo Joe and John Burt getting them in the running game. And then, boom, you get guys like Jason Hall and Dylan Haynes stepping up. Hall there putting the smack on Skyler Howard, doing things to the quarterback that if this was a real game, his arm would probably point in a different direction than what it's supposed to. As Howard went down with an arm fracture in this game, likely puts him out for the season. And you just can't take on an elite defense like the Texas Longhorns in this game with a scrambling quarterback and expect to come away in one piece. As the Longhorns add injury to a tough score, and then they show off their dainty, shifty, speedy, exciting freshman Chris Gunn, who didn't score on the play, but man, he's fun to watch. He can make a 10-yard ordinary run look exciting. Texas not going to be able to put it into the end zone on this one, but the freshman kicker comes through with a field goal, getting to showcase him a little bit. A 24-0 lead, under a minute to go in the first half. The backup quarterback Sills is sacked by Caleb Blewett, and Hughes picks it up. He's not able to scoop it and run. But when you're inside the 15 with 23 seconds left to go, all you got to do is hand it off to the big man, Chris Warren. He breaks a couple tackles. Holy smokes, it takes an army to bring that dude down, and that's a touchdown. The Longhorns only giving up 48 yards in the first half. They almost scored that many points on offense. 31-0 at halftime. With the backup quarterback in, there's really no point in playing the rest of this one out. Don't want to get anybody injured. No point in running up the score. So we're going to sim to the end, and it's going to be what looks like a 45-22 finish. The Longhorns hang on to this one easily as Chris Warren with 156 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns rushing, and looks like he got a couple of receptions and even a receiving score. The Longhorns with 286 yards on the ground, only giving up 30 Passing yards 168, 276 for West Virginia. Looks like they racked up some garbage stats in the second half there, but Chris Warren with a monster day. Caleb Blewett as well for West Virginia. Shelton Gibson had a few receptions, a couple touchdowns, and nothing to write home about on the defensive side. But next week we've got plenty to talk about. A big game against Oklahoma, our first test in conference. With a rivalry, anything can happen. It's probably likely time that we're going to have a big update in recruiting coming your way as well. So check back for that soon. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.